NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing you the latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. All right, the Nets are 5-6 and have basically lived up to the expectations I think they have of the season. After that disastrous loss against the against the Hornets, in which I went nuts and had an emergency NetsBoy and had to talk about just how bad of a game that was and how it drove me crazy and how the Nets can't stop being the Nets and how they find ways to lose. The Nets then followed that up with, two losses that made a lot of sense. They followed that up with losing to the Warriors, getting blown out by the Knicks. So I'm thinking, oh, this is terrible. But then they had some really good wins against the Pistons, the 76ers, and most recently against the Suns. And the 76ers win and the Suns win looked really, really good. And the Nets, like I said, are 5-6, and that is kind of the record you would expect them to have at this point of the season. The win over the 76ers, I think, was great. It was one of the best games I've seen. They should be beating the Suns. I think the Suns are not that great of a team. That Knicks loss to me was probably the worst loss of the season, next to the Pelicans game. But the truth is, the Nets are doing something that they don't normally do, and that is beating the teams that they should, beating the teams in which they are really better than. I think the Nets are better than the Knicks, but not by a lot, and so they split the series this year against them. I think the Nets are better than the Suns. They beat them. I think that they're, better than the Cavaliers. They beat them. I think the Nets are a little bit worse, but capable of being the Pistons. They beat them once and lost them to once. And then the 76ers are a team that I feel is better than the Nets, but I feel like that's a team that underachieving right now. So I think they're actually playing the way they should be playing. The question is now, though, at 5-6, first of all, the Nets are currently the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference at 5-6, which is, wow. The Nets, if the season ended today, the Nets are in the playoffs. Woo! Too bad we're only 11 games in. But still, that's a really good sign. And I guess the question is whether or not it's time to start believing in the Brooklyn Nets again, having some faith. Because I'll tell you one thing that's really funny. The articles with the 76ers and Suns game both kind of said the same thing. 76ers, something like Ben Simmons calls out Sixers after embarrassing loss against the Nets. And then Devin Booker calls out Suns after embarrassing loss against the Nets. It's just like, I guess if you lose to the Nets, it's got to be an embarrassing loss, right? I mean, especially if you get blown out by the Nets, right? But that's the way the writers have been making it out to be, because I've read the articles about it. But like I said, I guess the question is it time to believe? And my answer is no! It's not time to believe in this team. This team has never given you any damn reason to believe. Yes, they're 5-6. Yes, they've won games against the Pistons and the 76ers that they probably should have lost. But they're still the Brooklyn Nets. They still have lapses in defense. They still make a lot of dumb mistakes, as evident by the Pelicans game. They're still not better than the better teams in the Eastern Conference. No, I'm not believing in this team yet. I'm not going to believe in this team until they give me reason to believe. Tell you what, let's see what happens moving forward with the next couple games, and let's see if they can beat these teams coming up. Guess what? You got the Nuggets next on Friday, which is one of the best teams in the Western Conference right now. Then you got the Warriors. Then you got the underachieving but dealing with some problems Timberwolves. Let's see what happens with those 3 games, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get destroyed, Nets. So, no, it's not time to believe. I know that's the name of this episode. Is it time to believe in the Brooklyn Nets? I know a lot of people are getting excited about them. And how bad, let me just say one thing, though. How bad of a team do you need to be, or how bad of a history do you need to be 5-6, a game under 500, and being excited about it? Because that's the way Net fans are right now. And obviously, as a Net fan, I'm excited about their record, but I'm not believing in this team. Hell no. Hell no. But like I said, how bad do you need to be 5-6 and have your fan base being like, this is the best start we've had since we had Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson, and Kevin Garnett. Like How bad of an organization do you need to be? But that's the way it is. So I am not going to believe yet in this team. I need to see this team win, put a legit winning streak together. Not win 2 games in a row. Not winning every other game. I need to see them win 3 to 5 games in a row before I'm going to start saying, okay, I start feeling good about this team. I need to see this team be able to beat other teams that are that are better than them for me to feel really good about it. Yes, the Pistons win was great, but guess what? The Pistons are 4-6 right now. 4-7. So they're underachieving massively, and the 76ers only have 76ers are 6-5, but they're not. They've been underachieving for them by the standards of most people. So yes, those are 2 good wins, but let's see a win over let's see a win over the Nuggets. If the Nets beat the Nuggets in Denver, huge win. Let's see them beat the Clippers coming up. That's later on. Let's see them go and beat the Jazz later on in the season. Let's see them beat these second to the notch teams. I don't expect them to beat the elite teams. I don't expect the Nets to beat the Warriors, the Celtics, the Raptors. Those are really the elite teams. I don't expect the Nets to win those games. Right now, the Nuggets are up there too, but we'll see what happens moving forward with the season. I don't really expect them to beat the Rockets. The Rockets have massively underachieved, and the Nets played tight with them, but they did lose. Those teams I don't expect them to beat. But I do want to see them start winning games against the Nuggets, against the Trailblazers, against the 76ers again, against the Bucks. So, by the way, the Bucks look fantastic, by the way, and I couldn't be happier about Brook Lopez over there. Against the Hornets. These are the teams that against against the Pelicans. I said Hornets before when I meant the Pelicans game because I had Charlotte on the mind. Anyway, the Pelicans game was a disaster. But the Hornets as well, yeah, I want to see them beat the Pelicans. I want to see them beat the second-tier level teams, the Jazzes, the Spurs, those teams that people are saying they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to be the middle-of-the-road playoff teams. I want to see the Nets win those games. And the one thing I definitely want to see is I want to see them continue to beat teams that are definitely worse than them. Teams like the Hawks, teams like the Kings. Even though the Kings got off to a really, really good start, I'm not buying the hype on the Kings. The Magic, the Cavaliers, the Bulls. These are teams that I personally believe are worse than the Nets, personally. Other than those teams that I named, I think it's up in the air. Like I said, I think the Nets are better than the Knicks, but, that's just another personal opinion. But those are the games, especially against the Bulls, Hawks, and Cavaliers. The Nets should never lose a game to any of those 3 teams. Any of those 3 teams. Bulls maybe because they have some talent, but the Cavaliers and the Hawks, the Nets should never lose a game to those teams. Never. And the Suns, that's another team. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. But point is, I'm excited, but I'm not believing in this team yet. I need to see more. Karis LeVert has looked great. Hollis-Jefferson looks like he's figuring it out. Everyone is good except for freaking Allen Crabbe. I can't stand the guy anymore. D'Angelo Russell has his moments. I'm not going to go into much detail about individual gameplay because most of the players have played pretty well. I've been pretty pleased with most of the players. I think D'Angelo Russell has frustrated me at times, but then there's times you see why he's as good as he is. But really, Allen Crabbe needs to get his crap together. He needs to figure out how to make some shots again because he only serves the purpose of being able to score. When he can't score, he's almost useless to have out there. Yes, he's playing decent defense. Yes, he's getting rebounds, but he's on this team to make threes and to shoot the ball and shoot at a high clip. And he hasn't been doing that. And at this point, with DeMarre Carroll possibly returning in the next couple of weeks, I think it should be Allen Crabbe who leaves the rotation. I don't think it should be Jared Dudley, but I have a bad feeling it's going to be Dudley because I don't know if Kenny Atkinson is going to go with an 11-man rotation right now. I mean, he might, but DeMarre Carroll is supposed to be back sometime this weekend. DeMarre Carroll better be in the rotation. And who's going to that mean? I think it should be Crabbe. It might be Dudley. I don't know who else really. It's not going to be Joe Harris, and it's not going to be Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. But overall, like I said, I'm pleased with what I've seen, other than the Pelicans debacle, because that game was a disaster. Other than the Pelicans loss and the Knicks loss, this team has looked pretty solid, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any belief in the Nets. Like I said, the next couple games moving forward are going to be really tough. Nuggets, Warriors, Timberwolves, Heat. I'll take a 1-3 the next 4 games. I think they can beat the Heat at home. I think the Timberwolves is a winnable game, but the Nuggets and the Warriors are probably going to be a loss. But I'll take a 1-4 record moving forward, and we'll see what happens. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. If you're feeling good about this team, if you actually believe that this team is actually going places, because like I said, I just can't buy into it yet. Not yet, but we'll see. We'll see what happens by the next NetsBoy. We'll see. So until then, let me know what you guys think. And this is NetsBoy signing off. When the Nets just can't